Hello there. Time for round 2 with our sweet Rakdos control deck. Focused on red, but you wouldn't believe it from this hand. We're going to go ahead and keep this. This is definitely... it's not an ideal opening hand. This card, while it's quite often used as like a pseudo-win condition, like a lock piece for the blue-black control decks, is mostly just a Pyroclasm, like a Wrath, that deals 2 damage to the opponent in this deck, so it's fine. Having the Brush with Death in the opening hand can be awkward depending on what exactly they're playing. But, you know, we have an Edict and we have a Night's Whisper and like a Carnarium, so, you know, we're off to a fairly good start. This Ponder could mean, you know, multiple things. If they're playing like a Delvery deck, I think our hand's not too bad against them. Blightning. I think I just want to fire off a Night's Whisper while shields are down except from Daze. That's not the worst, I guess. It does mean that I should have plenty of mana to play around Daze if that's what's happening. If this is... wow, Thermo Alchemist. Wow, that sounds like a sweet card they've got there. Should I play around Daze here? I think I think I can afford to. It seemed like they F6'd. Like it went straight. Maybe not because it seemed like they got priority after I cast it. So if they had pressed F8, then Daze would let them have priority. But if they didn't have anything castable in their hand, then it probably would have went straight to them having to sacrifice. So I feel like this game, I can afford to just play around Daze. Casting Blightning seems like a fine time here. It's... you know, they could easily have some excess lands or something, but this should trim down on that. They might even discard Daze. It could easily be, but they're also on like the Grixis Alchemist deck. I could easily see some Gurmag Anglers in my future. But it seems like they're just trying to be like turbo spells. Alright. The next... whoa, wait, Forest? I think I've seen decks with this general combination of cards before, but not necessarily with Forest. Right, they're just like a Threshold style deck. Wow, well... in Vicar's Justice, in Evankar's Justice, I could cast it, but like literally any spell makes this too big to die. So I think I'm gonna play my own Thermo Alchemist here. So if I'm gonna do that, I might as well, and play Night's Whisper, I might as well cast the Night's Whisper first. And if the opponent plays like a Lightning Bolt my Thermal Alchemist with their 6 cards in graveyard, the question is like, am I supposed to respond with Lightning Bolt, considering I think they have Daze? I think it's worth trying it. Because like the payoff for it working is pretty high. No, okay, they had the Thought Scar, so it was gonna be big enough regardless. They only have 2 cards left though. So what can happen next turn is I can Lightning them, like play a land, and I have this Chainer's Edict in my graveyard. I also can bog them. Which will shrink all their creatures and allow me to even carve Justice them. So I don't think I want to cast the Lightning. I mean, I'm going to take a ton of damage here. But just like dealing 3 damage to their face doesn't prevent that at all. Okay. So if they've drawn like actual counterspell, then that's a disaster. They have not, though we're not super safe just yet. Let's see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'd like to try and gain some life. If the opponent has like a counterspell for it, then that's a shame. But they seem to not. And putting me to 6 is much better than being at 4, since while I'm at 4 I can't realistically play this because they probably have Lightning Bolt in their deck. Like so. Obviously if they just draw another Lightning Bolt, then I'm dead. But I don't think I just want to fire this off. I think it's too good. Like, if the game goes on just a little bit more, I don't think they're likely to have too many 2 damage spells, so I think it's safe to cast Rager now. I don't think it matters to play the Bog this turn. So hopefully they don't draw another Lightning Bolt. If they do, then they only have like 2 in their deck or something, and that's fine. So I'll play Bog first in case they have Circular Logic. Alright, put me to 4 again. That's nice. I have Lightning Bolt up. And opponent's on 4, so they on 7, so they should be dead next turn. Yep, they are on 2. They're going to have another Brush with Death. Alright. So that was a weird game. I wasn't expecting it to go quite that way. So let's see, what are we bringing in against them? I expect Grotesque Mutations, probably good enough to have a couple. I think Martyr of Ashes is good, since, I mean, it's not good against Delver specifically, but it's good against their bears and their mongoose. Don't think Funeral Charms are good. I think these are good. I'm not sure, like, Brush for Death, this isn't exactly the matchup for Brush for Death. I don't think it's the matchup for Sprinting Warbrute, however. I think I don't need Read the Bones. I think all these other cards are quite good. Like the Electrickery also is good for the same reasons Martyr Vashes is quite good. Except I can maybe snipe their a Delver on turn 1 or something. And like Pyroblasts are probably good. Like they certainly have quite a lot of spells that are not blue, so it's not like the be all and end all, but they'll probably have some decent targets too. I think Lightning, as good as it was, could get cut a little bit here. Like Rager isn't exactly what we want either. Alright, time to go with this. I kept Brush with Death and Pristine Talisman because we do kind of need to gain life. As the longer the game goes on. This is another slightly awkward hand. It turns out all these Rakdos decks have awkward opening hands. But if we draw just a normal non-Carnarium land, I think we're in pretty good shape. If not, I sure hope they don't have like an LD spell in their deck. As to what we're discarding, I think it's probably Nice Whisper. They don't need to cast that anytime soon. It's possible we should have just discarded Thermo Alchemist since like a win condition isn't necessarily part of our plan at the moment. But I think it's okay. Like all these Thermo Alchemists. Martyr of Ashes. So if they Hydroblast that's going to be quite good. But I think I'll just launch it for 3 right away if this resolves. You know, I'm going to take a bunch of damage from it. But if I just let them untap, like I'm going to take some damage like if they have a Thought Scour or something. But if I just let them untap, it's, you know, I'll take extra damage anyway. Yeah, see, this deck actually has a decent amount of reach, so. Now, they know about these 3 cards in my hand, so that's useful to take note of. They don't have any green mana at the moment. This is certainly something I found when I tried some, threshold style decks, like making one mana cards of 3 different colors can be kind of tricky if you're planning to play them in the first few turns. Later on is fine. Like you can if you're allowed to take your time, it's all right. But Manmorphose All-Star. So if it's just one creature, then I think we're in great shape. It is just one creature. I could just try to cast Lightning, but getting the Mongoose off the table seems it reduces the amount of things that can go poorly for me. Stormbound Geist, I should be able to overcome that, I hope. No, I will Lightning them. We can certainly lose if like their next card is like another Stormbound Geist, because our hand is a bit on the clunky side, so it could take a while to work through all of the persists. Or if they just make Forest Werebear, could be tricky also. But we're not being killed that quickly. Well, I didn't mean to tap that mountain there. obviously better to Hydroblast this on their turn, but I don't want to compound by mistake by refusing to Pyroblast, so also important to note, we have enough in our graveyard to make Gurmagangler cost 1. Alright. Well, the Geist is going for it. Hopefully they're just drawing some green cards and not a bunch more counter spells or burn spells. Justice isn't that good against them, except in the situations like in the first game where I managed to exile their graveyard. So it's possible that this is, like, I should only just have one of these. Alright, given the grotesque mutation, I think I want to get this angler out here. Well, hopefully it resolves. And I can also play Alchemist too. If I can not die this turn and get attack in with the mutation, then I'll be happy. If all else fails, you can always, target your Alchemist with Grotesque Mutation. It's not great, but it's at least something more than literal nothing. So this could easily not work. But I've got to try it. Vapor Snag? Well, that's game then. If they didn't have Vapor Snag or like a counter spell, like if they just had one of the green cards in their deck, I think they'd be good. But unfortunately, yep, we failed to draw an answer to the 3/3 Geist. Oops. I hate that Magic Online has the draw card button and then it replaces it with reveal hand because it just showed our opponent our hand for no real reason. So I'll definitely bring in the extra Pyroblast now that I've seen the Geist. And yeah, I think that's about it. This hand's not super, but I mean it's got some stuff in it. It seems unlikely that we'll die to 1-power things, like 1-toughness creatures with this hand. So the option here is, am I going to Electricity that or Firebolt it? I think Firebolt is the right choice, since Electricity can deal with Nimble Mongoose, whereas Firebolt cannot. Our hand's not too bad, actually. I mean, obviously this can deal with Mongoose too, but it also deals with everything, so... So we can like cast Lightning or Night's Whisper. I think Night's Whisper is probably the best here. It just gives us more options going forward. And I'll just return this Bojuka Bog. Of course, if I known I was going to draw another Blightning, I probably would have played this Blightning first. I'm going to try and hold on to this for a little while. It does make multiple of their cards significantly worse. Lightning. It's not impossible that they have like Basking Root Wallers or something that can punish Lightnings, but I haven't seen any so far. So there's a decent chance that we might be able to clear out their whole hand next turn with Lightning. If the opponent has a Stormbound Geist this turn, I think that'll be pretty difficult to beat. Alright, so I'll open up with Lightning again. We'll see how the opponent feels about that. And I think, depending on what they discard, I think there's a strong possibility that they've got like a negate or something. So I'm actually gonna play Chainer's Edict, and I think there's a decent chance they'll counter it. And then next turn, Electricity will, be good against this. So I'll bog them. Cast Electricity with Overload. Alright, that's fine. And then I'm going to cast Gorming Angler, not removing tons of things, because there are some good cards in here. But now that I know the coast is clear, I just made a 5/5. Like, I could theoretically have exiled everything and played Night's Whisper, but there was no real need to. And they're on 15, so time to put them on a 3-turn clock, or 2-turn clock by this point. Thermo Alchemist. Stormbound Geist. I think it's probably too late for the opponent this game. Since well, not only do I have 2 removal spells in hand as it is, if they're on 10, and I'm on 14, and I have a 5/5. I'll just wait. So I can deal them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can't kill them this turn. I don't think. So might as well just cast Chainer's Edict. I don't expect it matters exactly, but although if the opponent can deal me an extra 12 damage this turn, then I'll look very foolish indeed. I can't picture what they could have. Okay, because obviously they don't know what my hand is. I could easily just have 2 lands or something, but it turns out it's not the case. And we have Firebolt in the graveyard. So all I need to do is do that. Bam! Hooray! We have managed to win another match.